Welcome back to Talking Story. My name is John Minton, and today I wanted to do this a little bit early. We are going to go over what we will be reading through the month of October. Spooky season is here. We are going to step into the October country together, and I have got a great list. If you love horror at all, I think I've got every base covered, and we're going to go over it right now. We're going to start the month with Stephen King's new book, Holly. It's a bit of a detective story, I believe, and it's a bit of a psychological horror. If I can, I've tried to stay as pure as I can, not knowing anything going in. But from what I can glean, what I can pick up here or there from listening, trying to stay away from spoilers, psychological horror, bit of it. If it's Holly, I know it's a bit of a detective story. So really looking forward to this. I generally, even on the worst occasions, I always find myself having a fun time and enjoying a Stephen King book. From there, what if your favorite iconic type of horror character is that shapeshifter, that werewolf, that id bursting through our very skin and reshaping our outer physical form? I am going to be going into the self-published work of Victoria Tekken and going into Phased, which is two young women dealing with coming of age at the same time as dealing with their werewolfism and trying to fit that into society, if it is at all possible. And I'm so excited about this. I have enjoyed so much of my self-published readings going back a few months since I've started this journey. And I truly love Tori's channel. I think she is so insightful, and I love how she brings an artist acumen to conversations that she has with other artists and then just with us as listeners. So I cannot wait to get into her work with Phased. Now, what if you like that icon of horror, that shambling, unless it's 28 days later, they move way too fast, shambling muck of a disintegrating person that is a zombie that just won't stop and keeps coming after you. I'm going to continue my zombie read through Jonathan Marbury's books. This is Fall of Night. This is that series of zombie books that leads to the fall of mankind. And then he's got his YA series after the fall. And then he's got his epic fantasy series that he's just started with Kagan the Damned, and he just announced the third book coming out for that, that is 50,000 years after the fall. So I cannot wait to get to that epic fantasy series, but I'm trying to do this first to see how the world falls. Then I'm going to jump past the YA series into the Kagan series. But for all intents and purposes, for us here in the October country in spooky season, we're going to continue with Jonathan Marbury's zombie series with Fall of Night. What if you like that icon of horror? What are your favorite characters? That immortal, eternal, sexual being of a vampire that stands just on the outside of humanity looking in. Andrew at Andrew's Wizardly Reads said after he saw my vampire list of books that this is his favorite vampire book, or one of his favorite vampire books. I don't want to speak for Andrew. The Lesser Dead by Christopher Buehlman. I have never read any Christopher Buehlman, so I cannot wait to start this and see what a new author is all about, and also get into the head a little bit of Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads about what one of his favorite vampire books is. So we got that base covered as well. Now, I took a little bit from Leslie on the nerdy narrative, and I added Stephen Graham Jones to our list because maybe you kind of like that slasher feel. And The Heart is a Chainsaw is the beginning of a trilogy that if I understand, it's the Indian Hills trilogy, and it has a bit of that slasher feel to it. And this is one of Leslie's favorite authors, and I have never read Stephen Graham Jones, and I am a horror fan, so I've got to fix that this month of October. So My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones also will be happening. If you're like me, I sometimes love a palate cleanser from horror by going outside of my own little globe floating in space and going into the cosmic horror. What's really going on behind the curtain when you look behind it into the wheels turning and the gears meshing and the machinations of the universe that would make us simple humans howl in despair. I love some cosmic horror. I have got that covered as well with Christopher Farnsworth Reunion. Now, this is about a group of people that have saved the planet from cosmic horror influences, and they're coming back together as a reunion, and things go horribly wrong. That's as much as I know. Now, I do know this writer. He is on, I think, my favorite heroes list or my favorite I think it's my favorite vampire list for the Nathaniel Cade series, which is a wonderful vampire series. So I'm excited to go into cosmic horror with this writer, Christopher Farnsworth, and we got that base covered as well for cosmic horror. And if that's not enough, if there is time, because some of these books are on the thinner side, and horror for some reason just reads faster for me. I think sometimes you just get involved in the more baser emotions, and it just makes me turn pages. So if I have time, Seth Ring was lovely enough to send me a copy of his new book in exchange for a review, which I will absolutely give him. This is The Dreamer's Throne by Seth Ring, and I hope I have time for it this month. It's a thinner volume, and this is lit RPG, and I've never done that. I don't know if I'm a fan or not, but I do know, just from the cover, which is gorgeous, that this has an atmospheric, creepy quality to it. I can just tell, and I want to throw that in this month. I hope I can get to it. Fingers crossed. I think I will be able to, and enjoy another self-published outing. So, I can't see how we've missed any base. I can't see how we've left one haunted, creepy door unopened on this journey through the October country we are going to take together through spooky season. We are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creepy, spooky, horror-filled reads, and it is going to be a great month traipsing through the October country with you. I cannot wait to get started. I believe I'm going to start with Holly, and then we're going to move right on to Phased, and then we'll kind of see which way the moon drags us through this season of spooky goodness. Thank you so much for joining me here on Talking Story. My name is John Minton. If you want to hang out with us through the rest of October, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, hang out with us, come back and see what we think of all of these amazing smorgasbord of creepiness. We'll catch you next time on Talking Story.